All I did was go for my morning walk, and now I'm in the hospital with a broken hip and need surgery.
New at 11 on KGW News, can you help find the driver who hit this Portland man and kept going? Plus,
would you like to go get checked out, maybe come down from this for a little bit?
A survivor now in recovery calls it the biggest health epidemic that people don't know about.
It really does kind of blow my mind.
As KGW investigates the legal loophole that allows nearly anyone to buy huge containers of nitrous oxide. Then, shooting near a preschool, why a school says their security guard chose to pull the trigger.
And in the Pearl District, an iconic theater company at risk of a shutdown.
And we really need support right now to be able to finish this season.
Welcome to the news. I'm David Mulco. We begin at 11 with a Portland man recovering in the hospital after he was hit by an SUV while out for his morning walk. The driver taking off, leaving him lying in the road in Old Town near Northwest Flanders and Broadway. Catherine Cook talked with him from his hospital room tonight. Catherine?
And David, he's scheduled to have hip surgery tomorrow and is grateful to be alive. He hopes someone out there will help police identify the person who hit him.
I'm in a little disbelief. I went for a walk this morning around 8:30 and I got hit by a car.
From his hospital bed, Ed Anderson gathered just enough strength to share what happened to him Thursday morning.
I want some help for sure on this.
It was just after 8:30. Ed was on his daily morning walk in Old Town. At Northwest Broadway in Flanders, he pressed the walk signal and crossed the street. That's when an SUV, possibly maroon or red-orange, turned and ran into him.
And they didn't stop. I thought they accelerated, as far as I'm concerned.
Ed managed to crawl to the parking lane on Broadway. Police responded and medics drove Ed to the hospital with a broken hip.
No one deserves to be hit. That's crazy.
From behind the camera, Ed's sister, Lupia, shared her frustration.
We've lived in Portland for a long time, and I don't want to keep hearing these stories. And clearly with my brother, it's very personal. So it's important to me that we find out who did this.
As Ed awaits hip surgery, he's grateful.
I'm glad to be alive.
And hopeful.
The right person should be paying for this.
That justice will be served.
Once again, the suspect's vehicle is described as a maroon, possibly red-orange SUV. If you have any information on this case, you're asked to call Portland Police. David, back to you.
Grateful and hopeful. Thanks, Catherine. Appreciate your reporting. Developing tonight in Clark County, investigators are trying to figure out exactly what led up to a sheriff's deputy stabbing and killing a suspected drunk driver. This all started around 11 last night, authorities say, when the suspect was arrested after he crashed into parked cars in Vancouver. A deputy took him to a state patrol office inside a weigh station in Ridgefield to give him a breathalyzer. It's a protocol the sheriff's office says is common since they don't have their own devices. Some 25 minutes after arriving, the deputy reported the man lunged for his gun. There was a struggle, authorities say, and the deputy stabbed the man multiple times, killing him.
So work will begin on processing the scene for evidence. And that's kind of what the next step is right now. We'll begin working on the scene, crime scene mapping, evidence collection, and so forth.
Washington's Office of Independent Investigations is taking the lead. The deputy involved was not injured and has since been placed on leave. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, a Portland preschool says a security guard was forced to shoot a man today when he was threatened and assaulted. The guard was in the parking lot of a medical clinic next door to the GAN, that's a Jewish preschool on Southwest Capitol Highway. The man who was shot was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. Authorities say the security guard has been cooperating. At this point, there is no word on any charges. The school says police do not believe the disturbance was related to the school or a result of Jewish bias. Today, the man who robbed a 98-year-old on Thanksgiving in a crime that was caught on camera was sentenced to 12 years in prison. In the surveillance video, you can see the senior coming out of a Winco near the Gateway Shopping Center off I-205. Then, another man gets out of the tan Mercedes. He grabs the 98-year-old's wallet out of his back pocket, then knocks him to the ground as the car speeds off. The driver of that Mercedes, Karan Jones, was sentenced for assault, robbery, and identity theft. And for the first time ever, an American pope has been chosen to lead the Catholic Church. Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost, who was born in Chicago, was picked on the second day of the conclave. He will now be known as Pope Leo XIV. Today we heard from local Catholics who told us they hope he follows in Pope Francis's footsteps.
This is a man who understands the world and its complexities today. And that it's just, he's got so much to offer.
And I think he's giving me some hope and challenge too.
Well, the new Pope Leo served in Peru for nearly 40 years before being appointed cardinal and being called to Rome in 2023. Okay, let's give you a look outside on this Thursday night, Friday Eve, which means it isn't too early to talk about both the beautiful day on the way and the weekend. Matt Savino's here with a first look at your weather impact forecast. Hey there, Matt.
Yeah, it was a great Thursday, David. You see, we had a mainly clear sky at sunset, just some scattered high clouds and some jet contrails moving on through. And tomorrow will be equally as clear and even warmer than what we did today. We hit 70 today. That's down from 85, of course, on Tuesday, then 75 yesterday, 70 today. But we go back up tomorrow. Nearly every day this month so far has had an average or above average temperature, except for Saturday when we topped out at 64. But tomorrow, back to above average. We'll make it up to 78 tomorrow. Be around 70 at noontime, just scattered high clouds again. Sunrise at 5:46, sunset nearly 8:30 now as the days continue to get longer as we go through the month of May. So what's ahead? One more sunny, warm day. Clouds roll in Saturday, but that's still warm. We'll still be in the 70s. But beginning on Sunday, we transition to wet and cool weather that's going to last for several days. We'll make up a little bit of our rainfall deficit. David?
Still loving the longer days, though. Thanks, Matt. Tonight, in a follow-up KGW investigation, we're taking a closer look at the dangers of laughing gas. It's also known as nitrous oxide because it seems that distributors are flooding the market with bigger and brighter tanks available at gas stations and mini-marts. Investigator reporter Kyle Laboshi takes a look at the legal loophole.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
Avenue.
Thank you. Tell me exactly what happened.
So there's a person using nitrous oxide. He is endangering his life.
When police and medics arrived at Nick Harbor's Southeast Portland home, they discovered a man unable to break from his addiction.
How long have you been doing this?
Despite knowing the harm to himself and seeing the heartbreak of others, he continued to inhale.
Would you like to go get checked out and maybe come down from this a little bit?
His craving for nitrous oxide was louder than reason.
It was a hard day. That was a hard day.
The 45-year-old survived his darkest days and recovered from the depths of addiction. He now leads a nitrous oxide support group called No to N2O.
This is the biggest health epidemic, I think, that people don't even know about yet.
For years, people used small doses of nitrous oxide as a party drug by inhaling the small cartridges used to make whipped cream. Recently, though, health officials have raised concern after a surge in dangerous cases. Social media is full of clips of young people taking hits of nitrous. In April, KGW spoke with a Gresham couple temporarily paralyzed after prolonged use of the gas.
I completely lost it and I couldn't walk. I had to physically learn how to walk again.
As nitrous oxide has grown in popularity, it's become widely available and is being sold in bigger and brighter tanks with candy-like flavors.
It really does kind of blow my mind.
And you don't have to look far to find it. A huge banner outside this gas station in Southeast Portland advertises Galaxy Gas, generic shorthand for nitrous oxide. Walk inside this store and you'll find a wide selection of loud and colorful canisters.
What's your biggest tank you got?
The enormous 4-liter tanks sell for almost $200. There are smaller, less expensive options available too. Plenty of them.
He is heavy.
We found nitrous oxide available all over town. It's sold in neighborhood mini-marts.
Can I see that Exotica whip?
In Oregon, you've just got to be 18 years old to buy it. Convenience stores have a variety of brands and flavors.
Fruit punch, cosmic grape, strawberry stardust.
And gas stations? It's as easy to buy nitrous oxide as a soda or a bag of chips. Just ask and it's yours.
Big sucker, huh? Space gas, strawberry stardust.
These products, with their fun-sounding names like Space Gas, are being promoted in bright neon lights and colorful storefront displays.
Some bold advertising for Whip It.
And online, customers can buy as much nitrous oxide as they want. eBay and Amazon have all kinds of brands, colors, and flavors.
So how's this legal? Well, that's where things get interesting. Federal law prohibits the sale of nitrous oxide for recreational use, inhaling it.
But companies can get around that if they say it's for food use only. Look closely. There's often a disclaimer in the packaging. This loophole allows them to sell it legally as a culinary product, say for making whipped cream.
Would you ever use something like this?
No, I've never in my professional career of baking in, 18 years, used nitrous oxide in any application.
Portland chef Lisa Clark, owner of Petunia's Pies and Pastries, says an enormous canister of nitrous in the kitchen just doesn't make sense.
If you're going to make whipped cream, typically you would just whip it with a KitchenAid, a mixer, and a whip attachment and sweeten it. You're not going to use flavored nitrous oxide.
This growing industry appears to have been built around exploiting this loophole. Mini-marts and gas stations suddenly have shelves filled with nitrous, sold in sizes absurd for chefs, but ideal for huffing.
I think that this is actually one of the biggest problems with why we're seeing this as a health epidemic, is because this is not even sold as something like alcohol or marijuana where it's designed to be ingested. This is being sold as a food service industry product.
Kyle Aboshi, KGW News.
This evening, we're looking ahead to a Dateline special report into University of Idaho murder suspect Brian Kohberger. He's the man set to go on trial for allegedly stabbing 4 students to death in an off-campus house. Tomorrow, in a 2-hour episode called The Terrible Night on King Road, Dateline is revealing never-before-reported details, including video and digital evidence that investigators say tracks Brian Kohberger's movements.
We're able to tell you what kind of material Brian Kohberger was downloading on his phone, who he was calling, where he was calling from, when he was calling, what his timeline was, what his interests were.
Nice to see Keith Morrison there. The special will also include interviews with friends of the victims and former students who open up for the first time about their interactions with the accused killer. The 2-hour Dateline special, The Terrible Night on King Road, airs Friday at 9, right here on KGW.